you're ready to wake up, you're going to wake up. And if you're not ready, you're going to stay pretending that you're just a little, poor little me. And since you're all here and engaged in this sort of inquiry, I assume that you're all on the process of waking up. Or else you're teasing yourselves with some kind of flirtation with waking up, which you're not serious about. But I assume maybe you are, not serious but sincere, that you are ready to wake up. So then, when you're in the way of waking up and finding out who you really are, what you do is what the whole universe is doing at the place you call here and now. You are something the whole universe is doing in the same way that a wave is something that the whole ocean is doing. The real you is not a puppet which life pushes around. The real deep down you is the whole universe.
Hi everyone, welcome to video number 1 of my series. I felt guided to lay this series out as my journey unfolded as well. So I'm going to be providing, terminology, wisdom, and examples of what took place for me from the beginning to the now moment. So with that being said, today's video is going to talk about the dark night of the soul and shadow work, and listing a few tools on how to do the shadow work, how to navigate the dark night of the soul, and give you an example of what took place for me. First of all, what is the dark night of the soul? This is for simplicity's sakes, a time on our journey, most often when we are ready to shift from the third dimensional state of consciousness to higher vibrational states of consciousness, that catalyze us in taking a look at what is no longer in resonance or for our highest and best interest. Shadow work is the actual process of taking the look, transmuting at whatever you're looking at, and releasing it. As we're shifting in consciousness, you are also simultaneously raising your vibrations. And on the emotional and the mental body, if you're holding in, traumas and anger and jealousy, all of that is considered density. And as you raise your vibrations, you are becoming less dense. So there's no room in a state of consciousness where you are now embodying unconditional love, you're embodying unity, you're embodying abundance. And with that being said, there's also no rush to get there. I know all of that sounds so great, but truly, even now, stuff that I've done shadow work on in previous now moments have come up. We don't realize on how deep the trauma goes, or how deep whatever it is that we're experiencing truly goes. And you can get into the whole ancestral lineage. A lot of times we've come and incarnated to experience certain experiences to help release density from the collective, or for our ancestral lineage, whether it's lack mentality, whether it's there was a lot of no emotions involved, no love, and you've come here to transmute that all. So truly this video could go on forever, and I'm going to keep these videos to 15 minutes. As I said before, if you're wishing to go deeper down the rabbit hole, please feel free to leave the comments or visit my website. I'll leave a link down below to it where I provide courses and share other tools to aid you on your journey. So the dark night of the soul is can be akin, for me, it was that I lost my job, I was getting divorced, all of my friendships were being looked at, I was looking at my thoughts, emotions, and actions, and I just did not feel from my heart aligned with anything anymore. I was drinking a lot, I was smoking weed, I was not honoring females the way that we should. And so this is all the dark night of the soul experience for me. And I was brought to my knees to ask, like, to surrender, basically to surrender, and to take a look at what was going on. And so the first tip or the tool that I would like to share with you is taking a breath. You have so much collapsing in on you. You know, we have gone out of our way to build our comfort zones and having these jobs and having the marriage and this and this and that, all of these things that we do, and then all of a sudden it comes crumbling down. It can be pretty intense. So the first and foremost thing that I recommend is breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the mouth in a nice rhythmic pace. Really get to a point where you can view what's going on and to be able to better do the shadow work to transmute these things. Then comes the shadow work aspect. So now you've experienced your reality come crashing down. You're taking a few breaths, well, more than a few. You're taking your breaths, you're calming down to get to the point of observing. And now you're at the shadow work aspect of the journey, which is now you are taking a look at a situation, observing from neutrality. So often in the third dimensional states of consciousness, we tend to play the victimizer role, and we start to blame everything else outside of us. If they didn't do this, I wouldn't have done that. And then we've all been there, done that, so I don't need to give examples. But the key to transmute that, and the reason why some people continually to experience what they always complain about, is because they haven't transmuted it. They haven't done the shadow work. So breaking this down from the steps is you are taking a look at what's taking place, fully embracing any emotions that are coming up. If it's anger, if it's jealousy, if it's sadness, you have to honor it. You have to see it to transmute it. After you spent enough time for you to fully experience whatever is taking place and observing it, and I'll say that you have to be discerning on how long it is for you. We are all different, and for me to provide a length of time would be not for your highest and best, because truly the person that knows the best and the best wisdom, the right amount of times and so forth is within, and that's what this whole journey is ultimately about. So you've experienced the emotions, you're taking a look at what is taking place. Now you bring back in the breath and you subside the emotions. How I like to look at it is, when you are giving something your emotions and your energy, this is from moment to moment, this is now creating a timeline of you are basically telling the universe you're wanting to experience more of this. And so to pull back from that timeline, you have to breathe and subside the emotions, go to what is commonly termed the 0 point, or a space of neutrality. And further videos, I will expand upon these terms. So once now you're in this hub, as I like to call it, of neutrality, of the 0 point, now you are at the point where now you can choose which timelines and parallel realities you wish to experience. Now I know this terminology might sound bizarre to some of you, and I'm gonna save this time and how it really is in the third dimensional perspective of time for another video. But for this moment, of sake of ease, just bear with me on the terminology that I'm using. So now you've subsided to this hub of neutrality, or the 0 point. And now you invoke emotions from the heart. Any high vibrational emotion, whether it's the love or happiness or joy. Maybe it helps you to think about when you received your puppy, or when you had your daughter or your son, or when you met your family and you guys were on a vacation. Whatever helps you to really imbue the emotions, because when you envision something, you're building the etheric blueprint. When you put the emotions, you're increasing the potency, and then when you take the actions is how you bring an etheric, something from the etheric realm to the physical realm, aka manifest. And again, I'll save this for another video. So you're at the hub, you've subsided your emotions, you're imbuing this emotions and feelings from the heart, and now you envision the type of reality you wish to experience from this point forward. So if you were experiencing anger because of a relationship that was taking place, something occurred with you and a family member or a friend or a spouse, whatever it be, envision yourself happy, moving on, and experiencing that there is no conflict. So once again, you have to feel into how long you need to imbue the emotions and keep the visualization going. But after a certain point in time, you just drop it all. And from that point forward, it's important to go from moment to moment to moment, aligning your thoughts, emotions, and your actions with that new reality that you are experiencing in this moment. So often it's easy to be like, I am not fighting with this person and I'm not saying mean things, but every time you come around this person, you feel the anxiety or the anger, or maybe you have thoughts like, oh, there that person is. You're not in alignment, and you're not going to bring this reality to fruition. You are tapping back into that reality, and you're going to be experiencing this fluctuation where you're most often when it comes to manifestation, people are, they say, I've been manifesting for quite some time and I haven't experienced it. Well, it's because the thoughts, emotions, and actions combined with going through the heart has not been consistent enough for you to crystallize a timeline of that reality. Because if you think about it, we've put so much energy in how long have we been fighting with everyone in our realities, whether it's coworkers or friends or families or spouses and so forth. How much energy you put into crystallizing a timeline of the third dimensional state of being. And for you to now all of a sudden transmute and shift to a higher vibrational state of consciousness, and to shift, what is no longer serving you to something that is serving you, and bringing the darkness to the light, like, it takes some mastering. And so this brings me to my next point, is having patience with yourself, practicing unconditional love and patience for others, practicing unconditional love not only for others but for yourself, and practicing forgiveness for others and especially for yourself. Just to do a quick recap before ending this video, is often we are living our third dimensional way of being. We have the dark night of the soul, where everything seems to be crumbling down, and you start to really question, your purpose on this planet. Are my actions, thoughts, and emotions in line with the highest and best interest? You're gonna feel all of this. Then you do the shadow work, which is taking a look and transmuting what is no longer serving you for your highest and best interest, and releasing it. Transmutation is the key, because so often in the third dimensional state of being, we feel like we need to beat it. We need to conquer the ego. We need, the good needs to beat the bad. That's not necessary. Transmutation is the way of navigating through these intense and dark times. I hope that this video is of service to you. I know it's going to meet you exactly where you need to be met. Please feel free to leave any comments or questions. And until the next now moment, I love you all so very much, and I'm sending you all love, blessings, namaste.